every work of every writer will be developed under party scrutiny. Soviet literature enters a long, dark night, from which it will never emerge. Henceforth, writers will write for a readership of one, Stalin. The pressure mounts, and the poet Vladimir Mayakovsky takes his own life. The poet Sergei Yesenin also commits suicide. His works are banned. The novelist Bulgakov is barred by Stalin from fleeing Russia, and his books never see print. Stalin sets out to make Soviet literature as effective a mind control instrument as the cinema. But he needs a sacred cow, someone to front for him. Maksim Gorky would do nicely. At the turn of the century, his novels and plays brought him acclaim. But Gorky is sulking in Italy in self-imposed exile. Stalin settles on Gorky, but how to lure him back? Stalin makes him an offer he cannot refuse: fame and power. Gorky arrives and is greeted like the prodigal son. The celebrated author is appointed by order of Stalin to head up the newly formed Union of Soviet Writers. Gorky is to preside over their first Congress. Gorky advises his nervous audience, the enemy who does not give up is exterminated. Duped by Stalin and Henryk Yagoda, head of the secret police, Gorky unknowingly perpetrates a fraud on his fellow authors. He organizes an expedition of writers to visit the White Sea-Baltic Canal, being built on the backs of thousands of prisoners, all furnished by Stalin's secret police. It is a triumph of socialism, Gorky explains. Labor sets the prisoner free. The writers are to glorify it. After the sightseeing, folk dancers. The secret police deception is so impressive that the zealous and gullible writers who arrive prepared to accept whatever they are shown believe the pathetic charade and collaborate on a book of high praise, exalting the wisdom of Stalin, the excellence of the secret police, and the justice and decency of the Soviet penal system. Why did some of the greatest names in Soviet literature suddenly leap into Stalin's arms? For one thing, fear. They had just witnessed the fate that would otherwise be theirs. Using Maxim Gorky as bait, Stalin now beams his mind control apparat westward. He suggests to the gullible Gorky that he invites some of the West's most prestigious writers to come and see for themselves this brave new world of socialism. George Bernard Shaw arrives. Romain Rolland, H.G. Wells, Henri Barbusse, André Gide, all receive a hero's welcome, are stuffed with food and misinformation. They are shown the grandiose facade of communism, but not its shabby underside. And always at their elbow, the secret police. Henri Barbusse goes home and dedicates a book to Stalin. Gorky's one-time friend, Ishak Pavel, a writer, shot. A young poet, Boris Kornilov, shot. His wife, Olga Bergholz, a poet, is imprisoned and miscarries. Now she will never bear children.
I'm crushed, crippled. Why did they torture me? They took out my soul, searched it with their stinking fingers, spat into it, then stuck it back and said, go and live.
Gorky addresses his anxious writers. He informs them that the government has given them everything and deprived them of only one thing, the right to compose their work poorly. To write poorly, he suggests, is not to praise Stalin or his works. Ignore this at your peril, Gorky advises them. More than half of his audience will eventually be shot. The strongest minds in Soviet literature bend to Stalin's will. Standing like sentinels at Stalin's portrait, writer Mikhail Zoschenko and future Nobel Prize winner Boris Pasternak pay him homage. Stalin is a masterful manipulator of his image makers. For the sycophants, there is praise, privilege, celebrity, and awards of money, country villas, and trips abroad. But best of all, momentary immunity. An ardent Stalinist, Alexander Fadyeev, replaces Maksim Gorky, who dies mysteriously. Stalin forces Fadyeev to pass judgment on his fellows. This writer will live, that writer will die, and the other will go to the gulags. It haunts his soul, and Fadyeev kills himself, leaving a note, I have no strength to live, as art is destroyed and cannot be rebuilt.